Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It is very nice to have you here today. I've got something on the table that I really like. So a while back, I did the unboxing. This is the Kunwu Knives Gringo, and I love this knife. I like all their stuff, actually. I've got a bunch. I don't have them out right now, but this has become an absolute favorite. First, the overall work into this knife is perfect. I mean, you can see where the backspacer is, but just barely. Fitment is perfect. I love the black hardware on what they call their Honeydew texture scales. Lots of grip. This is just a really well-sorted knife. Mine has a particularly stiff detent. I've seen other people review these, and I know that it's not always the case. But it's got their Timascus rings around the pivot collars, which is really nice. Got a fairly standard pocket clip. But let's talk about the important part, which is the blade. So this is S390. Now, I know that Metal Complex recently did a video on this. I'm not going to get back into the weeds and everything that means, but here's what I know about S90V. It is called S90V Micro Clean. It's from Bowler. It is a tool steel known for its toughness, its wear resistance, and its edge stability. They've added a little bit of, I think, chromium to it to make it a little more rust and stain resistant. I don't know how that's going to hold up over time, but I do know that recently I was at my dad's property and I chopped a hardwood tree down. Well, it's a manzanita, but it needed to be moved, and this is what I had on me, and nothing. Manzanita will dull a chainsaw. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a royal pain. I mean, we're talking, it was about this thick. It wasn't like a giant thing or anything, but basically what I did is I notched it until I could get on the other side, and then I chopped out a piece and I took it down, and there's not a mark, nothing. So, I don't know your knowledge. I'm not a metallurgist, but I will tell you that I have a lot of pocket knives. And I don't think maybe my K390 stuff, maybe my ZDP 189 stuff from the nice folks at Monterey Bay Knives might have held up. But this thing absolutely, I wasn't even thinking about it when I used it, but it absolutely lived up to its blade steel potential. And so that is just cool. Apparently there are Russian like custom makers that use a lot of S390. I was reading about that before I did this video. Things that I love about this knife, the blade shape alone is enough to keep it in my pocket forever. I love big, wide, almost spear point blades like that. But this thing, I mean, it is just perfectly suited for my hand. Got a nice high grind, right? Got the bevel on this side, but it just comes to a really lovely edge. It's got a really usable choil right here. The actual shape of the handle is exceptionally comfortable. Here it is very comfortable. Back here it is just, if you had to do a lot of cutting, right, you could do it all day long with this thing. Because of the way that it is milled and shaped, this is a spectacular pocket knife. Now, these are about about 360 bucks. You can get the DLC coated one like Metal Complex had if you want to spend more money. I don't like DLC because I don't like fingerprints. This was perfect for me. And so far it has worked out to be just about the perfect knife. Now, I did say that mine has, that's really nice, a really stiff detent. Yeah, if you're not, on mine at least, you really, once you start opening, it happens. But if you let this thing sit, and it might be oil in the detent ball path, I'm not sure. Oh, please forgive my thumbnail. I actually caught my thumb in a door a while back, and the nail grew out and then lifted and broke. So it's horrible looking. I apologize. Well, let's take a look at what you get on the Gringo. While I'm done gushing over it, first you get a lovely black pivot. As I said, you get all black hardware. You get a really nice pocket clip. It does come with a wire clip. This is a standard Spyderco sizing, so you can put wire clips from almost anywhere on here if you wanted to. It's got a deployment hole. It's got jimping up the back of the spine right here. The spear point is really good. I mean, this is really comfortable. Excellent for cutting. The fact that the blade is lower than the handle means you can get a lot of blade down really quickly without banging your knuckles, which is a really nice feature. The inside of this thing, I'm not sure. Do I have a flashlight? Yeah, hold on. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be too bright, isn't it? Maybe I can dim it. Hold on. Nope. Anyway. So, what I can't seem to show... Well, okay, maybe a little. You can see it in there. It's really milled, so it's not as heavy as it might be. Let's do some size... Let's do some basic specs, and then we'll do some size comparisons. Okay, what do you get? Well, you get just shy of 3 1/4 inches of cutting on 3 3/4 inches of S390, excuse me. I almost said S90V. I do that a lot when I'm talking about this knife. Knife overall from tip to tail is coming in just a little bit under 8.5. Grip area, and now that is interesting. We'll do this basic grip from right there, so you're looking at 3 1/4 to the end of this, but of course all the way out here is almost 4 inches. If you add this choil, 5 1/8, 5 1/16, it is a big knife. Now, one of the ways they pull that off, I'm sorry, yeah, 8 1/4 overall. One of the ways they pull that off is that the blade to handle ratio is not going to be for everybody. It is sort of handle heavy. Now they made up for it with a thick, beautiful blade, but I mean, if you like Striders or the Stitch, this is very similar in blade to handle ratio. Let's see, how about closed length? I guess we do that, don't we? Closed length, we are coming in at 4 3/4. Now, one of the places where this knife is not stellar, unless you're like me and you have really big pockets, is I'll tell you, is almost 2 full inches. Yeah, just about 2 full inches at its widest point. You're absolutely going to know this thing is in the pocket. And I don't care, because it's fantastic. If you have other Kunwu knives, get one of these. If you've been waiting on a Kunwu knife that is, well, I don't know. I don't know what you've been waiting for. They make good stuff, but this is freaking awesome. Let's see how much of that S390 they give you. You get, back here at the thickest point, you get 3.3 millimeters. I mean, it's not a super thick slice, but because of how tall the blade is, it comes all the way down to a really lovely spot. It's nice, good cutter. Let's do some size comparisons with tools you may be a little more familiar with. Well, this is the new thing that I haven't reviewed yet, but I will. This is the Shark Cub. Isn't it cute? This, of course, is a 940. Here's an XM18. What else do we have? Oh, and of course the tried and true Ritter Hogue. Now these knives are surprisingly similar in size, lengthwise anyway. Look, you spend a lot of money on knives. Some people do, some people don't. I do. I shouldn't, but I do. $359 for this is ridiculous. It's because you get so much knife for the money. And you get a tool, you get a blade steel that is uncommon, that, at least so far in my experience, is a monster. You know, you're running on ceramic bearings. You got all the bells and whistles for less than $400, which is really nice. That action's really good too, right? Listen, I love that. The Gringo is a nice knife. Let's weigh it out, see where we land. almost 6 ounces. You know, what can I compare it against? Here it is against a Rat 2, or excuse me, a Rat 1. That's 5 ounces, but this is an ounce more. Look how much more knife there is, right? I don't sell knives. It's interesting how many people have tried to get me to do just that, and I don't do that. But I will tell you, as a collector and as someone who absolutely loves pocket knives, when something really awesome comes along, that's what I'm going to bring to the table, and the enthusiasm that I have. The Kunwu Gringo is, well, let's see, I've got 3 other of their knives. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the best thing they've ever done, and it is fantastic. And they're available. I'll put a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Kunwu Gringo. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. Remember, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.